Hello again, this is Priscilla Batzell. I'm in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Fluid Art Studio, and I've got a 14 by 14 inch canvas. I did pre-prime before I got here and let dry for a few days. I'm not sure if I can use this. This is Sherwin Williams Colors to Go. That's a sky blue, and I didn't think about pre-priming my canvas before I started. And my turntable is spinning a little today, or it was the last time. Go in there. Anyway, so I want to do a grass swipe. Looks like I need more paint. Let's do that. And I'm going to use the green, which is a direct center stage and direct green, as a base layer to help slide the paint. And basically this blue is just going to be showing through one side. I'm going to try and start at the bottom. Make sure I get plenty of it covered, but I'm going to try not to worry about it too much because I know we'll just swipe right through it and probably obliterate most of it. Be nice to have it all the way to the top, covering that edge. Steal a little paint. Try and get it to go all the way to the edge. I did put, like I said, I put GAC 800 by Golden in there so it wouldn't crack. I wish I had put a little Floetrol in there, but house paint isn't really the best thing to add a lot of Floetrol to anyway because it's going to thin it down. I have some sliding over the top, which is perfect. I don't want to spend too long on it. I'm already spending too long on it saying that. So tap along the edge and hope for the best. And then move along. I think I'm going to have to give the bottom a little coating first. That was center stage, was it? Or was it? Yeah, that was the center stage. This one has more. And I don't mind if the colors mix. Won't bother me a bit. I might accidentally discover something I like about the whole scenario. Definitely has an aroma. It's been sitting a while, a long while. It's extremely aromatic. Oh wow. Yeah, maybe it's been sitting 6 months anyway. So I'm going to try not to go too far up there, figuring worst case scenario I'm going to lead some of the colors I'm going to put down right into that zone, into the sky zone. And also I'm not going to worry about my edges because I've got paint colors I can use. Kind of like the way it looks right now. It's pretty simple. If I ran my spatula up through and put some lines in, I'll probably complain. I'll probably want that less even than I've got it, but it is what it is right now. And we got to get going. Now let me make sure. Maybe my turntable won't spin today. I was going to say, yeah, right. Alright, so I am going to use the one that's less thin, got more pillow to it. Now my choices would have been black or white Amsterdam. This is Seaglass. I'm a Color Arte affiliate, so Seaglass is a primary element. There's a 20% off Color Arte coupon code below the video. I wanted to do this today because I wanted something lighter than the jewel grass that I made, which was beautiful but very dark. This is Water Lily. And I love purple with my green. So that if you're wondering why we're suddenly in the purples. Then I'm going to go for some frog prints, which is another primary element. I thought I was going to use my regular spatula or a playing card, but I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet. I'm looking at my stainless steel spatulas and they're looking fairly attractive right now to me. I'm going to use some triple sec, which is a Prizm pour. And I've got a little green tea, another Prizm pour, if it'll come out. Yeah. I'm going to go sparingly on the darker colors. Usually I'd put some dark purple in there, but I'm kind of hoping that the water lily, which is looking very bright today, unusually so, will suffice. So I've got some Sassy Sprite to use up if it'll come open. It's been sitting a long time. And I wonder, I kind of think it's, yeah, I think that's trash. Never mind. That's going to go in the trash. We'll go for Fandango, which is one of my favorites. But I did a long time ago, I put some distilled water in a mix. And so there's always some liquid. And I'm going to do some sparkling aqua and try and keep myself from going for the Royal Sapphire, which is what I really want to do. And I used the green tea. I didn't use any of the Chromium green, which is kind of dark for this. And I might go back and use a little more frog prints. But I think a little Chromium green for contrast can't be a bad thing. Still want more purple. Now, frog prints, triple sec. I've got some pale, I've got some yellow. Which reminds me, I could use some gold with my mixtures. This is Isadora. And I do want enough paint so I can shuffle that along. Maybe I'll use some of my Boom Gel as a cell activator along with my gold and maybe my black also. Throw my spatula in the bucket. Now if I bring this over this way, I kind of want to be able to go right along up. That seems to be way far in, and I'm hoping that that's not going to be a problem. But I'm going to check. I love my colors so far. I have a little overspill. Yeah, I'm still in range. Check my monitor. I'm really tempted to still use some black, but I don't know. I really want purple. It's been so long since I used my dioxazine purple cell activator that I seriously doubt that it will work. So we'll just go for this pearlescent mauve Boom Gel, heavy iridescent, and there it goes again. Pavio Iridescent Gold and Atelier Rich Gold. Now, do I want the cell activator going right hand side? That's the wrong bottle. Okay. Hey, I caught it before it happened, right? Wouldn't have activated much. Alright, so at least I trust that the black cell activator will work. And I'm going to use some of the gold. And then some of the purple. And cross my fingers. And and that's kind of cool. I'm not sure I like the pattern for the black and white, but it usually dissipates, and I can tip this down as well as up. So I'm just going to scrape off my residuals and think about this. I like how the purple looks. I really want to play with it right now too. So how do I put my black on to have it less uniform? I don't think I need to. I think I'm just going to go for it right straight across. Helps if I can see through the lid on the bottle when I'm trying to pour it. So that's 3 cell activators. Question is, did I use enough pillow paint? And do I have enough left on my spatula to go one more time? So the first one's got completely different cells, which makes sense, I guess. And I want to use the paint that I've got. And I want my turntable to stop spinning so bad I can't even tell you. I'm going to use the paint that I've got right in there. In that area that doesn't have any. And then I've got an edge catcher. Everything is harder when you have to keep your turntable from spinning. I'm going to use the yellow, I'm going to use the green paint right down the edge right now. And I'm going to use my spatula and go up and down a few times. That may be a little clumsy, that area that I filled in, but I'm hoping that it'll just somehow magically blend in. Kind of liking the bottom more than I thought I would. And I can still tip down. I like how thin the blades of grass are on the top, and I am losing some of the cells, but they're sort of translating into texture. And one of the nice things about all this is, as I see bubbles, I can just get rid of them. That went a little too deep in the blue. So did that. But it's not that hard to fake it out. And every time I get paint like that, I want to just take it and use it in the gaps. And that kind of gives dimensionality, which is kind of neat. Just pull it down. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. I kind of imagine that some of it'll spread out. So I'm just going to go up a bunch of places and then go back and fill in. And I can still tip. That's still part of my plan. And every time I get what I consider to be a potentially interesting batch of paint on my spatula tip, I'll just put it in a new spot. The textures are great. I love the textures. And I especially like going down through the heavy paint and then bringing that paint right back up to the top again. Especially when I have a smear like I just had. make everything a different height. As long as the blue hasn't set, we're all set. So every time now that I've figured out what I like to do, I pretty much continue doing it. I'm loving the texture. I really, really am. And I kind of think it wasn't a vast improvement just putting the cell activator all the way across. I don't mind how it looked anymore on the first one. Of course, now I've learned that. I like that little bit of water lily in there, and I'm so chomping at the bit to tip this. I love the colors. Even though it looks like quite a bit of my yellow wound up at the bottom. And I'll probably miss it once it's gone, and it might be gone once I tip. I've got to tip just to find out though. I'm sort of glad I don't have any paint at the top. I've got enough run, I can probably wind up covering my bottom pretty well. I thought I'd tip up, but I'm not sure. Tipping down seems to be plenty, and I might just keep the paint. I do squeeze the bottom edge catcher, and it's not unheard of for me to want to go all the way across, but I've got enough paint on my edge catcher. That's a bubble or something. I think we need to find out what that might be. Tweezers are on my Amazon link. My Amazon link is on the link tree under show more underneath the video. Whatever that is, it's going to come with me now. I'm loving, loving, loving the textures on this. I've got very little that I have to cover and plenty of paint to do with just the perfect amount of paint to go down the sides and up. Right there and here. Alright, I'm just going to move that because I might use it for something, or I might not. I'm going to have to cover my edge. Perfect timing. I got just a minute left or so, and I've got enough time. Come on, stop turning please. There we go. I don't know how well I can shimmer this at you, but that's cool. That is the effect that I was after. And if I do anything else to it, it'd be just repeating the same action. Putting a few more strands of grass in blades of grass. Because there's just enough dark color and black and purple in the cell activator to make something stand out. That was a little bit lackluster there. Wow, very cool. Thank you for joining me. I hope you come again. I used to post at 2:15. I just found out Sheely posts at 2:15, so I'm posting at 2 p.m. right now. Now I love you guys, and thank you for joining me, and I hope you come again. And I wish I could zoom in as far as I can to show you the texture in there, because it's intense. And very, very cool. And very colorful. Alright, you guys. What am I not telling you? Thank you for the kind words in the comments. Thank you for sharing my videos and watching them longer. Those things are helpful to my channel. I give lessons at the house in Spring Hill, Florida. I do sell my artwork. I have a brand new Facebook page because my Facebook page that was there since before 2007 got eradicated by Facebook for some other reason that I can't figure out. Please give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, and my paint pouring recipe is below. Show more. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help. Questions are encouraged. My community board will show you when tomorrow's video is or what it is. My Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links are all on my link tree. My email is easpb and the word gallery spelled out at gmail.com. If I've forgotten anything, you'll see it in another. And it's the next day, and I swear I thought I was done. I really did. But then I played with it because I had some missing areas in the sky. The blue is beautiful blue, but it just didn't cover, and I could have used 2 coats. But I think instead what I'm going to do is use a little bit of the Vivid Intense White, which I wasn't going to. I will when it comes out. And some of my mother of pearl. And I'm going to put some clouds in the sky, in other words. You'll see in a minute. You'll probably have already seen it in the thumbnail. And I'm going to start with some LuvU Pink, which is a primary element. Which is not coming out very well. And a little bit of Frosted Berry. Just variations on a theme. I'm sure you can see my colors over here. This is Water Lily. And I think I'm going to keep that for one end. I'll just keep that handy and ready for using when I need it. And I've got a balloon. And my turntable is somewhat stable for the moment. And I'm going to try and leave this right up here. Some of this paint I fixed this with is a little fresh on this side, but here goes nothing. Got to try it. I did a digital version of it, and I put it as a header on my Facebook page, which is a new Facebook page because my old one disappeared. So go check out Priscilla Batzell /artist. There, I like that. I'm going to start with, I'm going to try and make this small. I kind of schmutzed up my glove fingertip that I was using as a balloon roll device, and I don't want any weird marks, so I probably should have blown up another one, but it takes a while. It's not an easy procedure to make a glove tip into a balloon. And since I told you everything, I won't have to do that again. I'm liking the LuvU Pink in the bottom. I have a feeling quite a bit of the pale color will just dissipate. Just become invisible. I'll probably go across the top. I like the water lily, but honestly I seem to like the puffy part of the whitish looking clouds better. I wish I was brave enough to just do it all at once. I don't want anything that looks like a kiss in there, so I have to slide the balloon. Now I have way too much paint in there. I'm going to have to find something else to do with it. I can do the top and the edges. I really miss that fingertip. Maybe I should try it anyway, you know? No, that's too big. There it is. Yeah, it's got tree green on it. But we can try it. I can always go back. No, it's too stiff with paint. I was right. But I will make another one. That'd be perfect for putting small clouds in the sky like this. I want a little more water lily. I was going to put some orange in. Maybe I'll try it after I finish putting these in. Yeah, I definitely wanted smaller clouds, but I'm not minding them. And my husband thought it looked like seagrass, so it doesn't look like seagrass unless clouds are reflected in the water from the sky, and I don't think that that's the case right at the moment. So it went from being an ocean scene in his mind, and now it'll be a land scene in mine, which it always was anyway. Alright, so I'm going to try and hope I'm not making a mistake. Some of the orange crush, because I liked it in my digital version. But I know that there was some water in there, so I got to be careful not to. I thought about using a lighter orange. Maybe mixing a little bit of white with it won't hurt anything. I love an orange and pink cloudy sky. I'm not sure this is my best rendition of that. Good to figure out the right consistency or the right coloration. Mix it up beforehand so that it's a lighter color orange, but I still like it. So I guess I'm not doing as bad as I'm intimating. Although my balloon does seem to have some mark making ability, there must be some dried paint on there. Best to use a clean balloon, I suspect. And beware, once it starts to get sticky, you're going to have kissy marks. I don't know if that's a word. But now that I've done that, I want to go back in with some more water lily. And I'll tell you guys, I love you, and I hope you come again. And I just started posting. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. I just started posting at 2 p.m. because I noticed Sheely was posting at 2:15, so I don't need the hassle of competing with Sheely. All right, so is that it? It is if I don't dribble in my painting. I kind of like the white parts as much as I like the colored parts. Makes me want to go back and add more white. Contrast makes it dramatic, and I like that about it. Also with the fresh paint, it's more likely to look white. So I can just lift this right up. And touch up the top edge. Which I don't mind if my clouds are purple up there, because they won't become too dominating, because you won't even see them unless you look. And then the same thing on the edges, because frames are expensive, so if I can avoid somebody needing to have a frame and they like it the way it is, that would be fine. I mean, you can use a frame. I'm sure a frame would be great. Let's make sure I'm happy with everything there. Fortunately, the orange is pretty strong, so even if you dab right over it, you're probably going to not lose it too easily. But we'll see what it looks like tomorrow, and we won't know. And I'm going to take a picture, and I can zoom in. Well, I don't know if I zoom in. Yeah, I'll try. Zoom in. But this way you can see the dry, how shiny and sparkly the grass is. It's just perfect. I love the way this turned out. I want to do a much larger one and put flowers above. Just like something I sold. One of the first flower paintings I ever sold reminded me of this a little bit. So the clouds are going to be beautiful, and I love the colors. And it was fine the way it was, but it was a little plain for me. So this is what we get now. And I love you guys. I'll see you anon. Bye for now. I love you all. Priscilla out.